You are listening to Bhagavad Gita for All, a practical guide for everyday life. A lecture series by Nalan Narula. Chapter 9, Most Confidential King of Knowledge.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Last time we had completed text 22 of chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita, and we will continue with text 23, but I will revisit text 22 just for the continuity. Text 22 of chapter 9 is Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Pari Upasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahami Aham. Those who are constantly meditating on me, constantly thinking of me, exclusively, without deviation, ananya, with no other, just with a focused, single-minded concentration. And ye jana pari upasate, those who properly worship me with devotion, tesam nitya abhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahami aham. All their requirements, all their needs, I carry to them personally. And because I am personally carrying it to them, I also preserve what they have. So this is a very, very powerful and important understanding that through the process of devotional service, which includes the healing process, by invoking the Brahminical energy of Reiki and the KQ force, you are invoking energies of Krishna and indirectly worshipping Krishna. You are doing everything for the sake of the source of the energy, who is Krishna. So the expanded understanding is that if Krishna is the source of the energy and you are doing everything in that energy consciousness, you need to step up, one step up, and understand that actually you have to connect to the source of the energy, in other words, the energetic. There is the energy and then there is the energetic. So the energetic is behind the energy, who is giving us this energy, and we need to connect in devotional service with the person. So anything we do that is for this energy which comes from Krishna, we need to understand that we are offering to Krishna himself through the medium of his energy. According to Vedic principles, there are 4 purposes of life, 4 objectives. So there is dharma, arth, kam and moksha. These are the 4 Vedic purposes. So dharma means to follow the Vedic principles, to follow the higher principles of knowledge. And here you have the principles of spiritual understanding, the expanded and the proper essential understanding, the king of all knowledge, that everything you do for Krishna as an offering to him in devotion, and that is your dharma. And from properly executing your dharma, you will get arth, wealth. Your wealth is imperishable, because Krishna says here that I carry to you personally what you have, and because it is carried by me, it is not deteriorating, it is spiritualized. I preserve what you have. I keep it as a positive thing beyond the binding consequence karma of understanding of positive and negative. So after the dharma, you get the arth, and then you get the kam, which is the sense enjoyment. So because people are not purified to begin with, that is a given, that is an understanding. So gradually through this process, purification is taking place, and simultaneously you are also enjoying the benefits of whatever sense enjoyment you still have a desire to have. And then at the end is moksha. Moksha means liberation from the binding consequences of karma. But because we are engaged in service to Krishna, doing for ourselves, liberating ourselves and liberating others, helping to liberate others from the binding consequences of karma, we are offering everything we do to the energy of Krishna, the Brahminical energy of Reiki and the KQ force. And through this understanding, we come to the person behind this energy, the source of everything. That is a person, it is not a disembodied thing. And we are actually serving Krishna. So anybody who serves Krishna according to the authorized rules and principles is to be considered a Vaishnava, including the demigods. So the demigods are also Vaishnavas. But, for example, in chapter 3, Lord Krishna is saying that people approach, in the Karam Kand section of the Vedas, they approach the demigods, but he is not saying they should be worshipped exclusively, and he is also saying they should not be worshipped too much, and that people with lesser intelligence get entangled in worshipping them, the demigods, for benefits, whereas they should come to Krishna directly, because that cuts out the middlemen, so to speak. It cuts out getting stuck and entangled in the demigod cycle, which he does not recommend at all. Because that is not ananyas chintayanto, that is not exclusive meditation on Krishna. It is mixed, or it is improper, because the demigods are not the ultimate recipients of these offerings. Krishna is. And moksha, to go beyond moksha, is our purpose, because moksha only means liberation from the binding consequences of karma. But a person who is considered to be a Vaishnava is one who wants to serve Krishna beyond the binding consequence liberation. So that is one step higher. So dharma, arth, kam, moksha, they follow sequentially. You execute the proper dharma, you get the proper wealth, and then you have the sense enjoyment. If you still have the desire for that, it is purified for you through the energies of Krishna and Krishna himself. And then there is the liberation from the cycle of birth and death. But life does not end with liberation, there is always service to Krishna. So that is what we would aim at as healers. So that is text 22. Text 23. Ye api anya devata bhakta yajanti shraddhayanvita te api mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. Ye api anya devata bhakta yajanti shraddhaya anvita. Those who worship the demigods with faith, they are devotees of the demigods. Te api mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. They are actually worshipping the demigods in a wrong way, avidhi purvakam, in an unsanctioned, unauthorized way, because this is meant for me. These offerings are meant for me, they are wrongly offering it to the demigods. So this is very, very clear. Ye api anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhaya anvita te api mam eva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. They are doing this incorrectly, improperly, and not with the proper understanding, obviously. So it is like you are going to make the offering to an officer of the government, whereas it is meant for the government. So that is a kind of a bribery. So that is not a very nice place to be. In text 24, Krishna says, Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natu mam abhijananti tattvenata chyavanti te. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta. I alone am certainly the enjoyer, the bhokta of the yajnanam, of the sacrifices. Cha Prabhu, I am also the master, the Lord, eva, also. And na tu mam abhijananti. Those who do not know me, the foolish, the ignorant, the envious, tatvena atachyavanti te. Therefore they fall down. Where do they fall down? They do not recognize Krishna's true nature and position and his transcendental being. They fall down where? Away from that nature, which is the material world. So they will fall down to the material world and suffer again in this dukhalaya. That is the basic problem. Then we have text 25. Yanti deva vrata devan pitran yanti pitra vrata bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti madhyajino apimam. Yanti deva vrata devan. Those who worship the demigods, they go to the planets of the demigods. Pitran yanti pitra vrata. Those who worship the ancestors, they go to Pitralok, the place of the ancestors. Bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti mat yajina apimam. Those who worship the ghosts and the spirits, they will take birth among such people, such beings, and those who worship me will live with me forever, without ever coming back to this material zone. Now, Sri Ramanujacharya has mentioned, as has Bhaktivedanta Swami, that there is a technical portion of the Vedas called Darsha Paurnamashi, by which there are ritualistic sacrifices that are recommended for attaining to different planets. You want to go to the moon planet, you want to go to Indralok, the planet of the demigods, you can go there, and so on, within the material world. And there are also some black magic arts, where you go to the Yakshasas, the Rakshasas, the Pishachas, you worship them, and then you will end up in that place. So, in the name of so-called spiritualism, sometimes people are thinking this is spiritualism, a ghostly spirit. No, no. That is not spiritualism. That is a very big misnomer. We are talking about the transcendental nature spiritualism, not this kind of spiritualism. So those who are worshipping the Brahma Jyoti, they enter into the light and then they fall down again. So if you do not understand or realize Krishna's true nature and you do not approach him through a process of service and worship, then you fall down to the material zone. Then we have text 26. The instruction in text 26 is very, very clear how we should approach Krishna. It's a very simple matter. Even if a person is not a devotee, he's not initiated, he's not connected in any way, but if he does the following: Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami pratyatmana. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. A person with devotion offers to me a leaf, a flower, a fruit, some vegetables, water, no milk, no andam macham masam meetam, nothing, no dugdam. Okay? So there is no sanction for offering Krishna, and we only eat what we can offer to him. So if as a healer you are working with the healing energies, you are sending Reiki healing or the KQ force healing or any Brahminical energy healing to the food, to everything that you do, Then there is the sanctioned food is given to you. It's a vegan diet completely. Krishna is sanctioning a vegan diet. Nowhere in the 700 shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita does he say you should have milk, let alone anything else. Meat and so on is absolutely forbidden, and milk is not mentioned anywhere. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami prayat atmana. So if a person in devotion offers this to me in pure consciousness of love and service and devotion, I accept. Now we understand that people are not going to be entirely pure. Motivation is there or fear is there. Sometimes there may be some sentimental feeling. Doesn't matter. You start, and gradually through the process of purification, because there is a reciprocal action between you and Krishna when you approach him, it's a two-way street. When you are initiated into a Brahminical energy like Reiki and the KQ force, it becomes a very activated two-way street. Otherwise, it's just a one-way street. You're receiving guidance from the Paramatma, from inside the Super Soul, talking to you from above your crown chakra in your heart, telling you what to do to activate your karmic consequences. But now, through the process of being connected, it's a two-way street. We are getting feedback, you get guidance. I should do this, I should do that. You may ignore it, you may be forced to ignore it because the power of habit, the force of habit is there. Or you are very desirous of achieving something, you know that that's not quite the right thing, but I'm helpless. Krishna will hold your hand and take you through all of that. So it is not that it is sanctioned, but it is a process of purification. Suddenly you do not become pure. You have to remove the layers, the accretions that are around you of the, you can say, inebriations, a kind of a intoxication coming from the three material modes of nature, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance. So these are keeping you in illusion and delusion, in Maya. So that will gradually get wiped out. So as healers, we recommend you should always Reiki what you eat. In fact, Reiki everything. So what are you doing? You're invoking those energies. So here, the upgrade in your understanding of healing would be that this is Krishna's energy. He has kindly given it to me. I am purifying everything and I'm doing it as an offering to Krishna himself. Kindly accept this and I will take this purified food, this purified action as your blessing. So whatever comes to me in life, I do not complain. I do not say this is very bad, I did the healing, it didn't work. Well, you got a blessing. It may be for you a greater or lesser blessing in terms of your understanding in a limited way, but he has actually removed your binding consequence karma. He is purifying you. And if you stick with that throughout, whatever is happening to me, it is blessing of the divine. It is something given to me more than I deserve. I am suffering less pain than I deserve. The positive I am getting more. The pain I am getting much less. This is very, very important to understand. Lord Krishna does not need your food, he does not need anything, but he is taking this as an offering of faith, of love, of devotion, of an attempt to serve him, which is fine. So any little attempt is very great. In the Bhagavatam there is a section where if you study the story of Lord Ram, when he was taking the help of the monkey clan to build a bridge across to go to Lanka, they were carrying big stones and putting them in the water to create a bridge for him to cross over the Setu. And there were little squirrels that were going and they were rolling in the dust and then trying to put little dust to create some kind of earth or to help. So the monkeys were laughing at them. Look at these, Ram said, no, they are very wonderful. They are doing so much within their capacity. So any little effort is greatly appreciated by the divine when you do it with love and devotion and service, attitude. So text 27, Yat karosi yad ashnasi, yat chohosi dadasi, yat tapasyasi kauntaya tat kurusva madarpanam. Exactly. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer in sacrifice, in ritualistic process, whatever you give away in charity, whatever austerities you perform, Kauntaya, do that as an offering to me. Very straightforward, very clear cut, no confusion, there is absolutely no discrepancy. So these are very, very powerful instructions. Yat kurosi, whatever you do, every action. So how will you do it as an offering to Krishna unless you are connected to the healing energies? It's not possible. So think of the expansion of that you have the healing energies, and whatever you're offering to Krishna through those energies, whatever you're using those energies which are coming for Krishna and then being used to purify all your actions, to detoxify, to decontaminate from the binding consequences, whether it's good or bad, everything. So yat kuroshi, yat ashnasi, whatever you do, whatever you eating, reiki of foods, offer it to the divine, and then you eat it as his mercy or prasadam, because he blesses the food. Yat juhosi, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, whatever you offer, juhosi means whatever you offer in ritualistic sacrifice or you give to anybody, whatever you give away in charity, whatever austerity you perform, whatever difficulty or hardship you are voluntarily undertaking, do it for me. Make this as an offering to me. I offer this, results of this austerity to you. So he will take the results and purify it and give it back to you. It is as simple as that. Text 28. Shubha Shubha Phalerevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanaye Sanyas Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mam Upaishyasi. Shubh Ashubh Phale, all the good or the evil results, positive, negative results. Evam Mokshasi Karma Bandhane, I will free you from the binding consequences of those karmas. Please understand, this is such so many times Krishna has said that the key is to get rid of binding consequence karma. The healing energy of Reiki and the KQ force get rid of the binding consequence karma. But you need to upgrade your understanding. Where is it coming from? Who is the source? It is a person. And that person is Krishna. So now, using that understanding, you worship me, offer everything to me, and you will be liberated from the binding consequences of karma. Yoga yuktatma vimukta mam upaishyasi. So yuktatma vimukta mam upaishyasi. Offer everything through this renunciation activity. Because you have united yuktatma, you have united with me in consciousness. So sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukta mam upaishyasi. So this is very, very powerful, because this is a process of linking and yet detaching. So previously we had talked about how Krishna is saying that whatever desires you have, I will fulfill for you, also purify them. So at the same time, there is a liberating effect that is happening on your actions and the consequences of those. Because you are freed, he says, I will free you from karam bandhane, from the binding consequences of karma. So when you upgrade your understanding that Krishna is behind this all, and we are very, he has been very merciful, he has been very merciful to give us this opportunity through the energies of the healing, karmic healing energies, to approach him and to get rid of the binding consequence, karma. And if we are constantly thinking of him, what do you think will happen? Everything will work much faster. Because now we are also connecting to the source of the energy directly. In our understanding, the energy, it's not that suddenly you're connecting, it was always there, but you were not aware of it. So Krishna says earlier in the earlier shlokas, he has said that you must be aware of my transcendental nature. So that is in text 24, that those who do not recognize my transcendental nature, na tu mam abhijananti tattvenatascha, they fall down into the material nature again. People ask us what will happen if we are doing our healing and we do not finish with our binding consequence karma. Will we come back? Yes, it is possible, we have said. But here when you upgrade your understanding that you are actually working and approaching Krishna directly through these energies, you have that capability, all you have to do is to do it, to execute that. Then it's a big upgrade, and even if you were supposed to come back, you are not likely to come back. There's always the chance that you might, but your chances of not coming back again increase many, many times. It depends how you are approaching this. Therefore, we have the conclusive understanding that everything you do, whatever you eat, whatever you do, patram pushpam phalam toyam, then yad karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhosi, yad dadasi man. So everything you do for Krishna, all the austerities that you do, all that you eat, you do it as an offering to me. And what will be the result? Shubha shubh phalerevam mokshasi karma bandhane. I will liberate you from the binding consequences of all the karma, whether good or bad. Please understand that the good karma requires you to be here in the material universe to experience, as does your bad karma. And one good karma doesn't write off another bad karma. It's not like a debit credit of that. You have to get both. So therefore it is almost impossible to escape this cycle of birth, death, old age and disease unless you have the spiritualizing a karmic energy of healing, karmic healing energy by whatever name called, Brahminical energy, Brahma energy, Vishnu's energy, the universal life force, the spiritual energy, or Reiki or KQ force. They all are liberating energies. And then sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimuktu mam upaisyasi. You will attain, you will reach that point. So it's a process. Upaisyasi means that you will get there. Yuktatma, having your consciousness firmly linked and set on this, you will get liberated. You are already in fact liberated by this principle of liberation. So this is yukta vairagya. You are linked and you are also detached. You are doing everything that you need to do in the daily course of your life, but you are detached. So that is the third and fourth principle of Reiki. That you do not take on the controllership or ownership, but understand that you are an agent of the divine, you are working with the energy of the divine, and you are doing everything that you need to do. Just for today I shall do my work honestly. You are dedicating yourself to doing your work honestly. You are working with commitment to get rid of your binding consequence karma. You are fulfilling your obligations, your duties, your debts, wherever they may be. And then you also connect to the understanding that Krishna says that those who are working like this I carry to them all their needs and I secure all that they have. So there is no need for fear. So all reactions that come from the good and the bad are all taken care of by him and dissolved. So this is how your karmic consequences get dissolved. So this is the upgraded understanding or expanded understanding, which you already had at Reiki 1, Reiki 2, at the KQ, but now you understand the person behind this, the power behind this. Okay. So we will pause here at text 28 of chapter 9. And if there are any questions, I will take some questions now.
You've been listening to Bhagavad Gita for All, a lecture series by Nalan Narula. Chapter 9, Most Confidential King of Knowledge.